I have two topics, and we utilize both in our investing strategy. And my humble and totally biased opinion, they're the two most important topics for any real estate investor. The first is REOs, bank-owned property. All right. I've been buying REOs since 1990. And let me just say flat out, I'm not coming to teach you how to buy REOs on MLS. No, there's a window of time after the foreclosure sale and before properties pop up on MLS. Okay, that window in most states is 2 to 5 months. That's the window where we're going to teach you how to buy REOs. And I'm talking buying properties 15, 20, 25% less than other ways to buy property below market. And look, when times are tough, it's interesting because what's bad for the economy tends to be good for real estate investors. Okay. Now I travel all over the country, and one of the things I see a lot is investors who just a little bit unrealistic sometimes. Well, I don't really want to own property, I just want to buy and flip. Well, that's great. But sometimes when the best deals are out there, it also means that there's not as many buyers out there. So you can't just be a buy and flipper. So on the back end, we market our REOs for sale or lease option. Now we do flip plenty of properties, but when we don't flip them, we roll them into a lease option. And it's a very unique type of lease option. We call it the Rent Smart lease option, and you can get a premium rent. You defer maintenance and repair responsibility to the tenant. And the best part is that the sales in the future, guys, so that it allows the investor to realize the gain that comes after a market has reset. So my topics are REOs and lease options. And even if you're a wholesaler, I will talk about wholesale and REOs. And it's really exciting time and also a bit of a scary time. One thing I've noticed is that literally every 10 years, I can say this now because I'm not that 30-something-year-old guy who just turned 60, and I've been investing since 1990. And almost like clockwork, guys, every 8 to 12 years, there's a reset in the real estate market. 1990s, right, the savings and loan fiasco. 2000, there was the dot-com bubble burst. 2008, we had the Great Recession. And after these reset periods, there's an opportunity of 1, 2, or 3 years where you can buy property at exceptionally large discounts. When that happens, most of the deals are REOs, bank-owned property. So we are likely headed towards some level of reset. And that's what makes the timing of my visit so strategic, everybody, is because we are seeing where the real estate market is going. And it completely aligns with my topic. And again, I've been buying property for now 32 years. I don't believe there's ever really a bad time to buy if you're buying the right types of properties and you have a good strategy. But there are optimal times to buy. And we're likely headed towards one of those periods right now. On the lease option, the way we do it, guys, there's 4 different types of outcomes. I'll cover each one. And again, we flip a lot of properties, and that helps create cash that will fuel into buying more properties. But the difference between us and like a wholesaler or a buy and flipper is we don't have to flip. And we're not going to discount our margins. We're not going to lower our profits if an immediate buyer doesn't walk in the door. And one of my teasers I'll leave you guys with is in the afternoon of the Saturday workshop, I'm going to cover how we use the lease option to help us flip more properties. And that's really important in down cycles because we all need more cash to fuel our buy-in. So where's the cash going to come from? Well, if we can show you how to flip a higher percentage of properties than most investors that are buying, you're going to have more cash to buy more properties. It's like a funnel. I mean, even if you're young, you've read about the Great Recession. All right. We all know how scary a time that was. And we also know, and I'm not going to pretend to say, I know exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and how bad things are going to get. Because if that was the case, I would be on Wall Street right now. So that's not the case. So nobody knows that, everybody. But there are certain patterns and there are certain commonalities between real estate markets that you do notice once you've been investing for your fourth decade. And here's how I would present this. So we've been buying property since 1990. All right. There are some years we'd buy 2 or 3. There are some years we'd buy a dozen or more. All right. And if there is one regret, and I've had tremendous success, is that I didn't recognize resets while they were happening, and I wasn't as prepared for them simply because I'd not been investing long enough to understand what was happening. So one of the things we'll be talking about, which is really interesting, and this really is something an investor should be considering no matter what your model is, and is buying strategically, not consistently. So I've been buying consistently. What do I mean by buying strategically? Well, in 07, let's pretend we're going back to 07 like you had a crystal ball. You knew the market was going to reset in 08, and you knew on the tail end of that there's going to be a 1, 2, or 3 year opportunity to buy properties at generational discounts. So what that means is in 07, you get ready. You get your contacts of which banks you can approach, all right? Which agents market bank-owned properties. I'm going to have my fundings lined up so I can buy a higher amount of properties in a shorter period of time. Boop, the bubble bursts on 08. We land in 09. Maybe the best time to buy begins in 2010. And instead of buying 4 or 5 properties a year, you buy 30. Gotcha. But you buy a lot of 30 a year for 3 years, and then you park it in 2012. Okay, then all of a sudden what you've done, you've acquired a high volume of properties when discounts were at generational levels, and you got these properties while the market begins to go up. That's how you make crazy amounts of money. And frankly, that's what rich people do. That's what they do. My job, what I'm coming to town to do, is to show you how our model works, how to buy bank-owned properties before 99% of other investors even realize they're available, how to flip a bunch, and those that you can't flip, how to roll them on the lease options. My job is to show you how that works, okay? How you can do this in your respective community. It's up to you to decide, okay, this is great, Andy. I'm in a position I want to try to buy 3 or 4. I want to try to buy 300 or 400. That's your decision, all right? But recognizing the fact that we're heading into a tremendous opportunity to do this, to be able to buy these properties at discounts that are simply not available during other years, that's really important to understand. Basically, I'm coming to DC to